A very good morning to you and welcome to what is a dreadful Manchester today. Boring, grey, lifeless, windless, sunless, rainless, nothingness kind of day. But hey, it's still January. I know it's the end of January, but what can we expect, I guess? What I want to talk about today is everything I kind of try to do every morning, which is I put on YouTube, scan through all the news channels, so I kind of get a overview of everything that's being talked about, both on the left side of politics and on the right side of politics. Even though I do kind of tend to view myself as being a right of centre kind of guy with left of centre leanings, because my whole life has been all around charities and schools and things like that, trying to make life that little bit better, because as some of you will know, I am an ex-professional fundraiser, so it's always been my aim in life, both as a paid charitable worker and as a volunteer, to make life that little bit better for those who are less fortunate than me. Hence I'm a little bit on the left that way. But what I want to talk about is, once you look at the whole news gambit and what is actually going on in the West, but you know, my focus is obviously the UK, and we have terrible problems here right now. We have an ineffectual, untrustworthy government. We have an untrustworthy, ineffectual, unelected Prime Minister, and I don't remember any legislation ever being passed whereby we as a country could have a Prime Minister sat in number 10 Downing Street who the people didn't put there. I don't remember that. We have a tanking economy. We have an appalling detraction in interest from the political class about helping our industries. We are heading towards, in my opinion, massive recession right now, and we're heading towards an election which is going to be a complete and utter landslide for a Labour Party who are bringing utter chaos our way. And on top of all that, we have mass immigration, both legal and illegal, neither of which do we need in the UK, or does the powers that be seem to understand that the country only has so many resources, and it doesn't matter what resources you're talking about, whether it's power generation and power supply, whether it be supply of petrol and diesel and all that kind of thing, whether it be services, doctors, dentists, hospitals. We only have X amount, and the more and more people come in, more and more people need those services, and the longer and longer and longer and longer become the waiting lists for those services. But the political class and the upper house, the lords, those entitled landowners and gentry, who are an unelected group of people, seem keen to bring in a rush of people who we don't know who they are, where they come from, what identity they have, what intentions they have for this country, and so on and so forth, and they're piling in by their tens of thousands. And looking wider, I'm looking at America, and you've got the problems in America of the southern border. You have people, again, in their tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, coming in from Central America, trailing thousands of miles, paying people traffickers to get them into the United States with the promise of the American dream, which if they realise that the American dream doesn't exist anymore, it hasn't existed since about 1962. It seemed to die the same time as JFK did. So they're not going to get what they think has been promised to them. They're being sent to these so-called sanctuary cities like New York and Chicago, where at this time of year it's Arctic, the weather is Arctic, and these people are coming from Central American countries where the average temperature is 73 degrees. They don't understand that they're coming in, and it's the same here in Britain, they're coming into a country that is stretched. They're coming into a country where ideally, if you want any help and assistance, you need to speak English. And they just do not speak English, they don't understand English, they seem to have no intention of learning English. So, and the same immigrants that are coming into Britain, of course, are coming into continental Europe. And they're all in Europe, they're all getting fed up with this as well. So, the big question for me, and I'm not expecting an answer here, but if you have one, please let me know. As you're aware, I'm quite keen on conspiracy theories, or as I like to call them, alternate theories. Now, many moons ago, when I say many, 30, 35 years ago, there was a theory that started slowly, and as time carried on, it gained traction. And it was called the Great Replacement. And people who were talking about how things were going to go were talking about a time would come where the Anglosphere, i.e. people who look like me, who are white, adopt English as a language, or their civilization is based on the English civilization. So that is, continental Europe, North America, Canada, Australia, all the Anglosphere would be replaced by people of, got to be careful here, different coloured skins and cultures, let's say. Now, at that time, people scoffed. They said, well, it'll never happen. Why will it happen? Why will people travel thousands and thousands of miles to come to countries where they have no culture, where they don't understand what's going on? We're very different. Why would they do that? As time has passed and those 35 years have elapsed, and I've been fortunate to be around for all of that. I was born back in 1960, and I've seen all these things come to pass, and that's exactly what's happened. It's weird that all this immigration in the UK, continental Europe, North America is all happening at the same time. How? Is this scheduled? How has this happened? I'm quite interested if you can give me an answer to that, if you feel you know why this has happened, whether it's the WAF or whether it's NATO's involvement in countries all around the world, or the United Nations messing around with geopolitics or whatever. Let me know. But the big question here is, whose fault is this that things are as bad as they appear to be right now? Well, I do think I have an answer to that. And what I think the answer is it's our fault. It's our fault. So if you're watching this in England, yes, it's your fault. It's your fault. If you're watching this in America, it's your fault. Australia, it's your fault. Canada, it is your fault. So why? Why is it our fault? Well, I'm going to negate myself from it being my fault a little bit, but I'm quite happy to shoulder some of the blame. We all vote. I don't vote anymore, but I used to, so hence I'll carry a little bit of the responsibility. Can anyone tell me the last time any elected political body gave out their manifesto coming up to an election where you think, that's fantastic, they're going to deal with this, and they're going to bring taxes down, and education is going to be better, and health provision is going to be better, and care for the elderly is going to be better, and care for children is going to be better, and crime prevention is going to be better, all that kind of thing. When was the last time in the country in which you live was that manifesto carried across to their victory in the election? When? And who was the party who did it? And who was the leader who did it? Well, speaking for Britain, this is the reason I don't vote anymore. There has never been a country, in my opinion, but I can only speak for my own country, that elected anyone who carried it through. Never. It's never happened. When the current Conservative government here in Britain got the massive landslide with Boris, he promised to get Brexit done, take control of our borders, and basically make everything better. None of those things have happened. None of them. And yet, people who hold this glorious idea in the head that democracy is the greatest thing still vote, and they're witness to the fact that democracy is ignored because the government are only there at the behest of the electorate, people like you and me, but they choose to ignore what people like you and me want. So we are to blame. So what's the solution? Well, the solution, in my opinion, is the ruination of your polling slip, whatever you call it in your country. People should put on it, when they go and put it in the slot, they should write on it, "Not in my name," or "We require something new, we want a better system," something like that, and put it in the box, and let the powers that be know that we, the people, who are the key issue where any government is, that they do not have any power without our say so. But once they have that power, it's like we don't exist. The only solution is that we need to make it clear on the day of the election that we, the electorate, demand better. And I think we're perfectly legitimate in that request. That needs to be done. Whether it will do it, I doubt it. No electorate will have the balls to do that, because they're still naive enough to believe that, at some point, some political party will do the right thing. Well, they won't, because all politicians want is power. And as the election comes again, all they want is more power. They want more of it, more of it, more of it, and more of the money that they get paid, and more of the expenses that they can claim. They don't care about people like you and me. They live in their leafy suburbs, quite a lot of them, and they're never affected by the crime and the mass immigration of people who we don't know who they are. They come in there unchecked, etc. So, to wind this up, we're 13 minutes in. We, the people, to use a phrase from our friends in North America, we the people are to blame. We have to take on board that responsibility. We have to accept that if we're to blame for the poor performance of governments, we have the responsibility to sort it out. And the way to sort it out is to make sure that they understand that we will no longer stand for this, and things need to change. So the solution in the short term is to spoil your electoral poll ticket with just one sentence: I demand better. And hopefully it will have to rerun the election, and I appreciate this will never happen. I appreciate that. But if it did, they would have to rerun the election and hopefully decide that the only way they're going to get into power or back into power is by giving in to our demand. So that's it. Many problems in many countries, and it is all the fault of the electorate, because people who vote put these idiots in there. That's it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please let me know. You must have an opinion on this. You must, because even if you don't vote like me, you must see what's happening. You must feel it in your gut. You must fear for your children and your children's children. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your feelings are about this. Drop your details down below. Get in touch. If there's anything like this you want me to cover in the video, again, drop me a note and I'll bang a video out. Thanks for watching. Spread this around. This kind of thing is really important that it gets out there. I'm now not getting enough views or subscribers for YouTube to bang it out there, but if you put a like on this, it will be banged out there, and hopefully in the short or medium term we may be able to change something. Who knows? If it's your first time here, please subscribe. I'm trying to get a lot of important messages out right now. And that's it for now. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.